Alright, we are live again for our last match for tonight. A very late one because we had to wait for the winner of the match between Jani Siekkinen and Babken Melkonyan. And Jani came out victorious, beating the Romanian on the hill 8-7. Jani won the leg and scratches on his first break of this match. Well, hello and thank you those of you watching us. I see there are still plenty of you, like about 200. And maybe some more coming. This is the last chance round. So the loser is out, the winner is through to the single elimination. The draw will be later tonight, I think shortly after this match ends. Well, with the ball in hand after the break shot, Maksim makes a quick run out in this rack and draws first blood on Siekkinen. Well, he had a little bit more time than Jani to be able to adapt to the conditions of this TV table, which, like Jeremy Jones was saying before, are quite different to those other tables. I think overall there are at least like 17 pool tables we have here. So let's take a look at Maksim Dudanets' first break of this match. How he manages to deliver the shot and what outcome he gets. And during recent years, Maksim didn't manage to get a good run at this event. A home event, obviously, for all the players from Moscow. One of the main stalls here in the Russian pool scene. The majority of top players come from Moscow. Of course, they just, I think they learn and they quite, I would say, feed one from another. Just sharing the knowledge, maybe making some observations. It's very good to have like our top guns like Ruslan Chinakov and Konstantin Stepanov, also Fedor Gorst recently joining them, and of course Maksim is a major figure here also. Well, Jani Siekkinen, the player from Finland, he's a great fighter. He lost to Skylar Woodward, but only on the hill. It was in the winner's bracket apparently. Well, I don't think the 8 passes to any of the pockets, maybe just goes slightly by the 10, not sure about that. So probably there is a need to develop that cluster or just try to come up with some creative safety, driving the cue ball to the precise position in order to be able to hide between the 10 ball. Well, of course the 8 ball is available to the far corner pocket, but the position should be pinpoint there. So it didn't take long for Maksim to come up with any kind of decision. Oh, that's brilliant. Totally brilliant. Just you look at this position play. This is the option I was talking about, like playing the 8 to the far corner pocket. Trying to extend his lead early in the match. Just a stun shot, stun run through here will do. Maybe slightly contacting the long rail just like that, but he misses this 8 ball. Oh my. Slightly held his shooting hand on cue delivery, I think. Kind of trying to be gentle with the cue ball, and it proved costly. Oh, Jani a little bit overran his cue ball, so he's almost straight in on this 9 ball, and he will have to come up with a good draw shot with plenty of side. Not sure he can go 2 rails forward, or even 3 rails forward, yeah. Because like provided the distance between the cue ball and the striped 9 is pretty little. So here goes the deep draw. And you see, the left side English was required to reposition the cue ball closer to the 10, and Siekkinen coped with that one. Well, it's 1 apiece instead of 2-0 for Dudanets, and the Finn is going to be breaking in the next track. Well, uses some body on the follow through and loses the cue ball completely. That's a big mistake, and like I think he rushed this shot quite a bit. And actually, this is not the first time Jani is featured at the main TV table. He was here 2 days ago. Oh, sorry, yesterday. Because this is only the second day of the event. So very little changed so far in terms of playing conditions at this table. And I was hoping that Jani Siekkinen should be the one feeling more comfortable just from the very beginning, I think. Of course, Maksim is one of the top players, and he can adjust very quickly. Well, like I said, he had some more time to spend at this table prior to the match start. Undercuts the 5, but finishes okay on the 6. Well, of course, the angle is quite the opposite he was looking for. but doesn't impose any problem. I think just him needs to avoid the 9, going around the 9, probably off the cushion. And he miscues. Oh my. Whoa, whoa. It's too late to chalk up the tip, Maksim. That's another big mistake. One was missing the 8 in previous rec. Well, I see we have both other guys from the Billiard Brothers group in the likes of Fedor Gorst and Andrei Serashtan. Obviously watching their pal and rooting for him. Fedor Gorst is already through and into the single elimination. Andrei, unfortunately, is already out of the tournament. So good luck for him for next year. Well, just a slow roll on the 9 would give Siekkinen a perfect position on the 10. I don't think there is a need to go 3 rails around. Or maybe, depending on the player's condition, if he just feel he needs to get some stroke loose, like this time. Of course, like utilizing multiple rails gives you more room for error, just like in terms of speed, in terms of cue ball control. Anyway, the outcome is the same. Another rec 1 for Jani. It's interesting, like Babken Melkonyan is there at the stands. He didn't leave the venue after losing to the Finnish player. Maybe he's just trying to figure out what if it was him opposing Dudanets in this clash. We also have another match going on. It can be seen on the other streaming table also. It's former Russian junior player Ilya Nekleonov. We're live.
Cool, man. What's up, Michael? This is
just
a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, don't introduce yourself first. Just let our audience guess who joined me here in the commentary booth. I give you like 2 minutes or so.
Okay.
So just we're looking to see your guesses in the chat. Who is my companion here? And I think based on his commentary, his insights on the game, on the rec, I think you can give it an easy guess.
So are we commentating on the TV or on the actual table?
Yeah, we're commentating live on the TV.
Okay.
This is just for our review, I think.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Well, it looks like he's calling this 2-ball. Maxim.
Yeah, you can call. Yeah, I think you can call him Max. That's pretty okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be a nice shot here if he makes it.
Well, he overcuts it and he left the shot for his opponent, I'm sure. Oh, no. Probably the 2-ball rolled a little bit too far, right?
Yeah, I like how soft he hit it. That was he controlled the cue ball. In case he made it, he would have had a pretty good shot on that 3-ball. He didn't just swing at it like a wild man, and he got a pretty good result, even though he didn't make it. So, what's this guy's name here? Who he's playing?
This is Jani Siekkinen from Finland.
Okay. Yeah, he looks like a Finn.
Yeah, he is one.
I don't think I've been to Finland yet. I've been to Norway and Sweden.
Well, it's not too far travel from here, from Moscow.
Mm-hmm.
You can even take a car. I think it's like maybe 8 to 10 hours ride.
Well, when Putin hands me a couple million next week, just for spending money, then I'll do that. He's nice like that, right? He likes to treat his guests good. All right, so back to the game here. Let's see. This is a nice little cut. Looks like he can make it.
Well, he can, and of course the cue ball will travel all the distance towards the opposite short rail, towards the 6. But there is little traffic on the way of the cue ball, right?
Well, he didn't go for it. I guess he couldn't see it, or he just didn't want to give it a shot. It's not so super easy hitting the ball real thin with spin on these tables, you know, unless you really work on it and get used to it. It takes a few minutes, and that, because when you hit the ball thin, you have to be more accurate because the contact point becomes smaller. Because when you're off just a little bit, it has a bigger impact on where you hit that ball.
Yeah. Well, first signs to be worried about Maksim Dudanets because he keeps missing those balls.
Yeah. Well, this is first real good chance at the run out. How old is this kid?
Jani, you mean?
Yeah, Jani.
Oh, let me check.
I call him a kid because I'm older than a lot of these kids. I can call them kids.
Yeah, sure.
But he's a grown man. But a lot of young players out here.
Well, I think as long as we've got a couple of guesses on the chat already, and both of them are correct, this is Max Eberle here with us. So one of the most experienced players in the history of Team USA, I would say.
Oh man!
By the way, you are through to the single elimination, I think so.
That's
just
right.
Congrats on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Yeah, I had to work an extra match. I came pretty close to getting there against Ruslan, and he played great. And
well, actually, you were leading in the first part of the match.
Yep, he came back and made it a real close match. That was a fun match. I think that was recorded, so people can go back and watch that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All right, Jani is 32.
32.
Not a kid anymore.
So he's like basically coming into his prime as a pool player. Like once you hit 30.
So what age do you think you could call the player's prime? Like 30s?
Yeah, 35 is like.
Because we've been talking about this a little bit with Jeremy before. Nowadays, all the cue sports seem to get younger and younger.
Yeah. However, the experience, if you keep playing and playing, I'd pick a guy in his 30s, if not 40s, to win. All things being equal. I mean, I guess there's no age discrimination. The balls don't care.
Deeper experience, first of all, yeah.
Yeah, the experience. You've been in your body longer. You know how to do things. You know how you operate. You've seen a lot of situations. You know how to think positive. But I tell you what, I'm impressed with these young kids. Like, look who's number 1 in the world, Josh Filler. He's 21.
Yeah.
And you know what, that happens. Sometimes you get these champions, and they don't take too long becoming a champion. So he'll be around for quite some time. Nice run out. Jani, I think I can remember his name because one of my favorite artists is named Jani.
Oh, that's an easy way.
Hmm?
That's an easy way, trying to build something to Like there is a so-called mnemonic, I think,
Right.
method, like building some constructions like little hooks
Right. For name.
to grab. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good pool playing music. If someone's interested in having some nice practice music, just put Jani in YouTube or whatever and listen to some of his instrumentals. It's good for practice.
Wow, Siekkinen scratched on his previous break shot attempt.
It's 3-1 here. How old is Maksim?
I think he's 21.
Yeah. He's one of Russia's top young talents, isn't he?
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think recently we don't have that many of them coming up.
Think so?
Yeah, because like speaking about the coming event by ABN Billiards, which is a dream challenge, Team USA versus Team Russia, we're going to have the same team we had 2 years ago, which, in my opinion, shows like probably there is no progress in like no more younger players developing.
Well, you know what? I thought it was pretty cool. I did see some real young kids here. They look like 8, 9, 10 years old in the tournament.
Oh, you mean the pool event?
Yeah. So maybe that's going to show some good things to come for Russian pool.
Well, there is a decision to be made by Maksim Dudanets in this position.
Yeah.
He can see the ball, but nothing to do with this, I think, in terms of attack.
Yeah, because it's pretty tough even without the 10 ball sitting there. So elevating would make that cut shot really, really tough.
Needs to go for a very thin contact, I think. Well, leaves a shot. Of course, awkward bridging once again over the 8 probably. But and I don't think the 2 passes the 7, right?
Correct. Yeah, he could lay up on a good line for a combo if he was to cut this in.
Well, right, it's almost straight in, right?
Yeah, but can he make it without scratching? Looks like he can.
Well, I think I've seen a system for this one, like 4 balls around the spot, like to judge, to make the correct judgment whether like the cue ball goes towards the pocket or not. That looked like a safety attempt and a pretty nice one, but right now I think the 1 ball is playable. Of course, the cue ball position is not easy, like almost frozen to the cushion.
Yeah, it makes it kind of tough to see the edge of the ball. But he can see a little bit from that, the way it's on the rail on that side. But he's playing a little conservative here.
Well, leaves an easy response, like a 2-rail kick.
He doesn't want to throw caution to the wind quite anytime really, but being down 3-1, he wants to really claw his way back in
He
this.
can see the ball, actually.
Yeah. Not sure if he can just roll on a good line right towards the 3 ball or not. Looks like he's
Well,
gonna...
if he cannot, I think then the corner pocket option is there.
That's true. Of course, that's more distance, so looks like he's going to draw back to the rail and pull out.
Yeah, looks like it.
These are tricky. You really got to focus on keeping your head still. Just give it a good stroke.
And it was never close, I think.
Those are so tough because you don't want to hit that corner on the right-hand side. And then sometimes that makes you push it out a little too far.
Well, don't get me wrong, guys. Both players had to go all the way today. They both had a pretty hard path to this very match, so I think they are a little bit prone to mistakes right now. As you see, like Maksim missing those shots. Not the hardest one of them, and just Jani makes the same mistake. So we will try not to be harsh on them.
No, I think that was. I'd consider that a pretty tough shot. Jacked up, shooting that cut shot at that angle into the side was not the easiest shot. So, did both these guys like lose their first match or something, and then now they've come all the way back through?
Well, Jani Siekkinen, I think he lost his second round match to Skylar Woodward, but only on the hill. Maksim, he lost to Albin Oshan, I think, in the match, like for the single elimination.
Yeah.
Yeah, round. Yeah. Yeah. So just this is his second chance, actually.
How do you say Maksim's last name?
In Russian, it is Dudanets. So just
Dudanets.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
I think the Americans tend to make the stress on the first vowel, like Dudanets. Well, his nickname here is Duda, so just...
Duda?
Yeah. It's very easy for everyone.
I'll just call him Dude.
Well, I think this also will do. And just a slight roll here using the bridge, the mechanical bridge, or the rake. Didn't like to stretch on the 7. And 2 rails, kind of a zigzag shot maybe. I don't see him applying any kind of English, not required to do so.
Yeah, he set himself up for a nice angle, didn't he, to come across the table?
Yeah. They have some kind of special drill, like for this kind of cue ball travel.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say.
Back and forth, yeah, just 2 lines of balls. Oh, Max, please tell me, how do you like it here in Moscow overall?
Oh man, this is an amazing town.
Is it your first time?
It's my first time in Russia.
Yeah.
First time in Moscow. It's a beautiful city. People are nice. I only speak a few words, really, but.
Yeah, please tell this to John Schmidt.
Why? Because he didn't want to come out here or something?
Nah, I've heard so. Yeah.
John's not much of a flyer. He doesn't like getting out on the plane and flying for a long distance.
Well, I mean, just we are glad to welcome everyone here.
Absolutely. Oh, this place, everybody's friendly. There's nothing to worry about here. This is.
Yeah, and what's your take on the event? How do you like the venue and just?
Top quality, man. This is unbelievable. It's beautiful, man. The equipment is in perfect shape. This venue's beautiful. The banners up everywhere that you can see. The seating, I like the fact that you can look down on the tables properly.
Well, then I think you could also share with our listeners your experience in, I think, the game you met for the very first time, which is a Russian pyramid, Russian billiards. So how did you like that? And first of all, how did you come up with the decision to play? Did you like, were you jealous for Corey Duell?
Yeah, a little bit. No, Corey, actually, I took him to a Russian pool hall over 10 years ago in L.A. When I lived there, he was in L.A.
So you were the first one to discover this game, eh?
Well, we were looking for something to do.
Between both of you.
I think we heard that there might be action in this place, so we went there. It was a Russian place, and he had never played. I had never played. And it's kind of a funny story I've been telling everybody, is that even though he never played, he ended up playing for money over there and winning. By within a few hours, he had like 50 locals, big crowd around watching him gamble with one of the top local guys, and Corey came out ahead. But I was there watching, and he was even innovative on that day. On his first day playing pyramids, he was making all kinds of cool shots and using inside English to get the cue ball to go in the pocket. I mean, you know, those guys weren't professionals, but still, Corey picked it up pretty fast and was able to win a few $100 playing those guys.
Yeah, well, you top players are fast learners, I think. Just and you learn by simply observing the game. Like when I was asking, I think a couple of years ago, I was asking Shane how did he manage to learn one pocket so quickly, and just his response was, I was just watching the other players play. So just nobody basically taught me anything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, still I believe that every game has some those tiny little secrets you have hard times coming up knowing yourself, just unless you are told.
Yeah, and Shane put himself in the line of fire, playing a lot of big money games early and playing in the Derby City Classic. Tell you what, that guy's proved that he's not just a player with a big break. I mean, he's a great player, all-around player. Winning the Derby City one pocket, almost winning the World Championship. He made it to the finals a couple years ago. I lost to Darren Appleton barely. He run like 300 balls in practice, like 280 something one year, and then the next year like 350 balls in practice right before the tournament. And he hadn't really been a straight pool player, you know. Okay, so what do we got here?
Well, we are involved in a safety battle early in this rack. Well, that's a mistake by Jani Siekkinen. I think he got a roll probably, but he is not happy with the outcome. So that tells us probably that Maksim is able to see the cut, enough of the ball to cut it to the corner at least, or maybe even to the side. Not sure about this one.
Looks like he could cut it in the side. It's all just a matter of getting a path back up for the 3-ball or the 3-7 combo.
Yeah, I think, well, the 7 doesn't sit very nice enough, but at the same time it doesn't block anything, like any part of the pocket for the 3. Just the opposite, it is the helping ball.
Yeah, you could scooch the 3-ball off the rail, off the 7.
Yeah, right. Well, watch out the side pocket scratch. Managed to avoid that. Well, right now I think Dudanets is going to make a cross-side bank shot.
He's even checking out the cut shot, just slice it in. For you listeners back home, if you're going to bank this ball cross-side, you got to aim a little wide. So to the left side.
Does it stick only to the diamond table or whichever?
Well, really any table, because when you cut to the left, it's going to put right on the object ball. See, so he just avoided all that. And the beauty of that shot is the position he played, and you know that was, and he made a nice cut.
That's great, yeah.
Didn't hit any balls.
So just 2 rails out for the 5-ball.
Oh, he punched that pretty nice.
Too hard, probably, no? It is too hard.
Well, just barely.
And right now, once again, there are 2 options. I think either cross-side bank or even cross-corner bank towards the 7. But if he decides to go to the 7, first of all, he loses the cue ball quite a bit, I think. And then just he is not guaranteed with the position of the 5-ball after that. Well, decided to stay conservative, use a wall of blockers, I would say.
Yeah.
In the face of 9 and 10 ball. Well, that's a pretty easy jump shot.
Easy to hit for sure.
Yeah.
Difficult to make. Well, he might be able to masse a little bit, or just do some type of little curve. And
well, I don't think the 5 is frozen to the cushion.
Yeah, so he's got a little wiggle room, huh?
There is a little gap, I think, like a couple of millimeters.
Got to be so accurate on these shots.
Do you measure these kind of gaps in millimeters, or you stick to like some fraction of an inch still?
Like to make that five ball?
Like I mean, the distance between the five and the cushion, like is it like a 3/16 or whatever?
Well, you could say it however you want. Yeah, I tend to use 16ths or eighths or millimeters.
Or maybe just hairs, like a two hair width, yeah.
Right. Well, I came a little short, but he'll probably just.
Oh, that's not a problem. He can just with some amount of right hand side, yeah.
Or I could do that.
Go in the opposite direction, just around the traffic. Due to the gap between the 8 and the 9, he manages to do it very precisely.
Now see that shot. The main thing that was important was the line and the speed. He could have been off, but a couple feet here or there. But as long as he had a good line, he'd be in good shape here.
Yeah, very nice. Keeps the cue ball on the right side of the ball, and just now with a stun shot. Yeah, he can gain a nice position on the 10. And just he manages to get back all these racks he wasted in the beginning by missing those object balls. Nice left-handed shot by Maksim.
That's a good skill, isn't it, Michael?
Well, once again, we covered that with Jeremy Jones already, like talking that nowadays the youngsters, I think they are supposed to develop this skill. Just try to play with both hands. How good is your left-handed play, Max?
Well, the highlight of my career is I broke and ran a racket 9 ball left-handed when I was in college.
Not so shady, like they say. Yeah?
So, and I work on it from time to time. Wouldn't say I'm like Ronnie O'Sullivan, perfectly switching back and forth.
Yeah, he's a genius at the table.
And Efren is famous for being really good both right and left-handed.
Another genius player.
Yep. But it's definitely a good skill to have. And when you do it, it actually improves your right-handed game, or whenever you practice opposite-handed, because it fires off the other side of your brain.
Yeah.
And then it improves everything that you're doing, your abilities. That's according to some scientific articles.
Yeah, that's true.
Some research.
Just any activity, actually, not only at the pool table, but if you switch your hands once in a while, maybe like, I don't know, eating or whatever. Well, I wouldn't recommend trying this while shaving, though. Or you can get cut pretty badly. Just some cuts are required to be very fine, just as the one Jani is facing right now.
Yeah, this is a good little cut here. He's the favorite to make it. Hit it with authority.
Yeah, and right now he is the favorite to win this rack, I think.
Yeah, this is a delicate little shot. Once he gets a good angle on this 4, then the whole rack is good.
I think just a slow roll is all he requires for this position. And then just with a little bump of the short rail, he is perfect on the 5. The 6 is sitting there. So how did you love playing here in the Pyramid event? I don't think you were getting as prepared as Corey, because I think well, he was more serious into this attempt as opposed to like maybe last year when he also entered this event. So
well, he is a better Pyramid player than me. He knows the game more. He was teaching me some in the couple days before the tournament.
Yeah.
And tell you what, I came out firing. I won the very first game of my first match against a good player. And,
I think he was like a top 20 maybe right now.
And I was just hoping to make some points during the match.
Unfortunately, they didn't put you on the TV table, so just we were not able to watch a game. How many carom shots, like how many in-offs did you manage to make, or did you just try to make all the object balls mostly? Huh?
Well, I did both. I made some really good in-offs actually. Maybe about 40% were caroms.
Yeah, I mean, because like this version of the game, like when you play with the cue ball only and you have a ball in hand, when you make the carom shot, makes the carom shots a very important part of the game. Just the best of them can just make 8 and out with ball in hand from the from behind the line, apparently.
Yeah, these players are geniuses with the Russian pyramids. It's something to watch, and the women too. They're just some incredible players here.
Well, Jani barely cut that 6 ball into the side. Well, just I think both your matches in Russian pyramid finished like 1-4, right?
Yeah, I got one game in each match. I was pleased with that. It's fun, man. It's satisfying. When you make a shot, any shot, in Russian billiards, pyramids, it feels good.
Makes you proud, right?
Yeah.
Well, actually, the country where Jani is from, they have a version of a Kaiser game played with 5 balls only at the 10-foot table. There are no in-offs, only object balls, but you can score multiple points, like by making a bank shot or a carom, or all of the all in one, like maybe 3, scoring more points, like making the ball by making the bank shot and also the carom. That's the most.
And this is the finish game.
Yeah.
And the pockets are real tight, right?
Yeah. They are. I think they are a little bit like a millimeter or 2 tighter than they're at the pyramid table.
You know, I've heard about this game, and I've always thought that was one reason Mika Immonen became such a great player. I think that was it was a good head start, you know, like well, he's worked real hard on his game. He's been a great player for a long time.
Very nice control of the cue ball by Dudanets here, but did he manage to pocket anything? Nope. I'm really surprised by the outcome of this break shot, because it didn't look that bad.
I feel like this guy could be a cousin or a brother to Brandon Schuff, the American
really?
pro player.
Well,
got a similar look.
Yeah, Brandon visited us last year.
That's right.
When he was in contention for the Moskovska team.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, it's very nice to have you being here in the squad. Could you please tell me a little bit more on the selection process? I mean, I had the impression, based on the description, that after the boot camp between the 4 of the players under Jeremy Jones, the captain and the vice captain were just going to pick the player. But I think recently I read somewhere that you had to win some kind of a qualification event, and beating Justin Bergman twice in the end, right?
Yeah, at the last match, because they did a double round robin.
Double round robin.
So it took all day. I mean, we started at
playing
10 a.m.
9 ball apparently, right?
And went till 3 in the morning. Yeah, playing 9 ball. So we did races to 5. You'd have to win 2 out of 3 sets, and you had to do that twice with each player. And then if it came to a tie, which it did, then we had to play 1 race to 5 to see who got to come to Russia.
Between you and Justin, right?
Yeah. And he's a great player. I mean, I was playing good that day, and I was breaking good, and it was a good, very competitive match. He's been on the Moskovska Cup 3 times already. I mean, he's an awesome player. Love his game. So Chris Robinson, fully deserving of being here. He's a great young player, junior champion, collegiate national champion.
Well, I suppose we're going to see him at the Atlantic Challenge Cup if he qualifies by age. I think so. Same goes for Michael Paris, I guess.
Yeah, Michael, that kid's got a lot of potential. He's still real young. He's 17. and he won the Junior Worlds.
Yeah.
And you're going to see a lot from that kid here pretty soon. Plays good.
Well, Siekkinen could see the ball here, and now he has to deal with the problem he created on the push-out earlier. I'm not sure he can send like banking the 2-ball and staying behind the 3 with the cue ball.
Yeah, I think the 3 is blocking that shot. Just the edge of the 3. At least it looks like it is from here. You're talking about like banking the 2-ball 4 rails.
To go for the safety, right?
Yeah, that's a sweet shot.
He's even studying the carom option, but it's very hard, I think, from this angle of attack on the 2. Just going straight into the 3 in order to pocket it to the side.
Now that's a finish shot, isn't it? From that game.
Yeah.
What's that game called again?
Kaiser.
Kaiser.
Yeah.
Oh, he did your shot, so he could see the ball. He couldn't quite see it enough to stick behind the 3.
He quite lost the 2-ball, but I think he got a roll. Just shaking his head, Jani. Are you playing in the Midwest Bar Table Classic?
You know what? I'm not planning on it. I'm not sure when that is. For right now, I'm trying to avoid bar box play altogether.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah, as long as I'm in contention for the Moskovska Cup, I don't really want to even look at a bar table.
That's kind of a totally different game, as I know.
Yeah, it's just small. It gives you an inflated sense of like shot making, and doesn't keep you sharp for unless you force yourself to also practice on the big table every day. It's great for cue ball control. It's a lot of fun maneuvering around. So if you're a bar table player out there and you want to have your skill on the big table, make sure you practice on the big table every single day. Also, if you want a chance to compete with these guys. And that's one thing I did growing up. I had a 7-foot table in my house, but I'd make sure that my mom would take me to the pool where I could play on a 9-foot table every day also. Right back when I was like 16, 17. But also, that's when I started driving also.
It tells a lot. You were wise enough already, even at 16. Like.
Yeah, definitely knew what I wanted. I knew that the bar table wasn't going to get me there by itself.
Well, Jani made a fine shot on the 2. Barely made it, but still made it. And well, I think the 3 goes to the side pretty perfect, but given his awkward bridging, he could easily miss it. Oh, wow.
These guys are grinding right now. This is a tight match because whoever wins this is still in the tournament. The loser goes home, and it's a money match. So
right.
You can tell these guys are a little bit tight. They're trying to resort to their training and trying to stay loose, but also execute with precision. This is that's what it's all about right here.
Do you think it is like a little bit more pressure on Jani because he's a foreigner and he had to spend something to come here as opposed to Maksim, who resides here? Like trying to gain some money from the event?
Well, it's hard to say because I don't know his personal financial situation. Like, but if money's tight and he needs this match to keep eating for the next week or so, then there's a lot more pressure. I don't think
the situation is as brutal when it comes to eating. Or like sleeping in your car at the parking lot, like the hustlers of all days sometimes had to do back then.
Tell you what, man, there's it's not an easy sport. I mean, you look at the golf tour, like the Nike tour. Some of those guys live in their car.
Still.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I mean, it's all glamour and glitz and fame and tinsel at the top, but for the guys trying to get up. Even onto the PGA Tour, it's not always so glamorous. And the guys who weren't born with a silver spoon in their mouth. That's why I'm saying I don't know Jani's personal situation. But if nothing else, just the pressure to make it to the final 32, get into the money. I mean, we're most of these guys are out here because they want to win. They want to. If they wanted a career where they were going to get rich, they'd be a banker, or maybe more of an entrepreneur. But most of these guys, they just love pool, and make money or not, they're still going to play. But it's definitely nice when you win money, and
no doubt.
helps you out in your life, and you can live a good life with your prize money and stuff.
Yeah, Jani almost made a spectacular bank shot, just trying to make the 4 off, to travel off the 7 towards the corner pocket, and it was very close actually. But now he left the shot for Maksim.
Yeah, Maksim did a real good job of keeping his head still on that shot. That's one thing I look for.
So
and
you think that's one of the most important part when talking about fundamentals, right?
Absolutely.
Like the head movement.
Mm-hmm. Or lack of head movement is
yeah.
And these Russian guys, they're like a team, man. I mean, these guys train hard. Johan comes out here, has been training them for a few years, and he's an amazing coach. Now I can really see why he's coached.
Did you learn something from him?
Well, sure, absolutely. Since I only started working with him on this trip, actually, because before it was Jeremy, the vice coach, was coaching us in the boot camps leading up to the tournament in Vegas. Jeremy is an incredible coach, and so is Johan. Johan's coached the Dutch team created several champions, and also champions from several other countries like Russia. He's helped players become champions.
Yeah, and also I think Johan is one of the strongest guys in the business when it comes to like mental training, which is very important, especially in those kinds of events like a Moskovny Cup.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying getting a chance to talk to Johan, and anybody out there, when he offers a boot camp that you can attend, I'd recommend signing up for it if you get the chance. Well, we got a good match here, 4-4, halfway there, race to 8.
Are you going to be involved in the Euro Tour after the Dream Challenge in Austria? Are you aware of that?
No, I'm not even aware of it, no.
Mm-hmm. Because last year the Team USA just after the Dream Challenge they went straight to, I think it was the Netherlands, where the Euro Tour was. Just one of the steps on the way to the Moskovny Cup, one of the steps in preparation process.
Where in Austria is it going to be?
You mean the city?
Yeah.
Klagenfurt.
Klagenfurt,
right?
Klagenfurt.
Yeah. I think it's early October. Not far from here. I mean, the Dream Challenge ends. The last day of the Dream Challenge is September 25th. So in a week.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Tour, yeah.
I'll consider that.
Well, actually, it was last year. It was the one Shane won.
And that was no small tournament. I heard 150 players. Euro Tour.
At least, yeah. It usually it's maybe 170 to full field of 20 plus, 200 plus.
Wow.
Yeah. And the most of them are as tough as these guys who are playing right now.
I don't think I've really been to Austria so much. I've been to Belgium briefly, Germany. Austria would be cool because my last name is actually Northern Austrian, Southern German. I think it's pronounced Eberle or something.
I think it's both Eberle in German and American or English, right?
Well, what we call it Eberle, and they say Eberle. Eberle. So, I don't know. I can't even pronounce it properly in German, but it's similar. Yeah. So, what part of Austria is it? Is it Northern Austria?
I'm not sure about the geography. Well, that's a foul shot.
Yeah, hit the 7.
Maksim, yeah.
I'll tell you what, when it's 4-4, race to 8, this is when you want to really bear down. Not that you weren't bearing down before, But this is when you want to really start pushing towards that goal line, because you don't want to be playing catch-up at the end. So if you get an opportunity, as with every game in a match, really these days, you got to take advantage of every opportunity, run out every opportunity you have.
So you mean you don't like trailing?
Well,
because I think in some sports, like maybe athletics or whatever, there are sportsmen who believe that like trailing is better, just because like you can see the leader as opposed to leading, when you just have to push yourself and you don't know like how far the guy is behind.
Yeah, no, there's something to that. A lot of players are they get motivated by being down in the score. But here's the thing: you might not even get that opportunity to make a comeback. The balls might not just roll your way, like on the break.
Yeah, right.
Here and there. So you really got to take advantage of your opportunities to be a real consistent winner.
Well, then it's a vital wreck for both right now.
Very tough shot to hit that with inside English and make the ball.
Does he get a roll, yeah?
And well, 3 ball's in definitely a funny spot. Question is, what's going to happen even if he makes the 7 ball?
Well, probably the 2 stays somewhere around this corner pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would be a little bit worried with the position of the 3 ball there. Of course, I think it goes to the side, but like the position zone is like pretty narrow.
What, you mean you think the 3 ball goes in the side?
I think so, yeah.
I don't know. That's pretty tight.
I think he went for the 7, trying to make some kind of a carom shot.
Maybe he was trying to kick the 2 and break out the 3 and make the 7 and get shape on the 2.
Yeah, I think that's a right call because like based on the speed he played the cue ball.
Well, this is tricky because he could come back and scratch off the 3. So
yeah, the cue ball's path, it's never easy to calculate, but I think his target should be the 9 ball right now. Misses the 9. Went for the shot, but now he's in trouble. Oh, the one rail kick is there, but once again, I think the scratch is there also. And I'm not sure he can even go 2 rails. What about going 3 rails around, trying to brush the 3 ball just a little and maybe you call in the 7?
Looks like he's going up and down.
That's another foul ball by Dudanets. Makes contact with the 5.
Thought he had room.
Did he try to hit the 3 ball directly?
I think he was just going up and down, maybe with a little inside, reverse the cue ball off the end rail. I'm not sure what he was doing.
Well, once again, I think these are signs of fatigue, like building up on both players.
Tell you what, they're faced with a tricky rack right here too. So.
Well, this one I think is easier for Dudanets because like the scratch is not on anymore with the 3 ball repositioned slightly.
Except hitting that point is a possibility too. If he kicks into it like this, he could hit the point and then just not even hit the 3. So that's dangerous if he comes in on that side of the ball.
Well, maybe just once again the good idea is trying to hit the rail before the 3 and just once again just slightly nudging it. Yeah, he uses a slow roll, makes the contact. That's a perfect response by Maksim. I don't think he even left the cross side bank.
You don't think so? I think he might fire at it, but the problem, I mean, part of the problem is he has to elevate so much. And it's a thin shot. If he does make it, it's going to be a good shot. Oh no, he doesn't have to elevate too bad. So yeah, he listened to you on that one.
I'm not sure he calculated that point contact, the point of the side pocket, and the rebound. Maybe just was hoping for the cue ball to travel further away off the ball.
Might have been a blessing in disguise because he could have left a 3-9 combo if he just put Max down on the end rail. Off angle combo.
Maksim is trying to keep the position as it is. Well, the 3 ball still doesn't pass by the 9, so I don't think there is a danger just of rolling the ball back to the kitchen. The cue ball, I mean. Just leaving it open.
Jani's questioning if it was a good hit, questioning Max. And they've agreed that it was.
Well, as long as the 3 ball was not frozen to the cushion,
Yeah.
I guess it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like that. Rolling the cue ball towards the head rail.
He could play the 7 with the cue ball. He could curl.
Yeah, that's a shot from a Russian pyramid, and Maksim Dudanets, he was raised as a pyramid player first. I think he spent several years at that game, but then he switched to pool. Well, now I think the cross-side bank is on, if he needs, but I don't see Jani even thinking about this shot. So far, this position looks like a kind of a stalemate.
Pyramids would be fun to play on a pool table. They kind of do. They have this game called Scratch Pool.
Yeah. Did you play this game?
Oh, yeah, I played that game, and a couple Russian guys came to the States. And I played one guy, a friend of mine who's actually from Russia. And he just put on an exhibition when I played him. It was beautiful. Just automatic. Especially these pockets are so much bigger than a pyramid table. So it's like playing on pockets for one of these guys. To play on like a diamond. To play scratch pool where you scratch an object ball off the cue ball every time. They know exactly what spin to use, what angle to hit it, how hard to hit it. The ball like bends into the big side of the pocket every shot.
Still, scratch pool is a little bit different to like the pyramid. I mean, because at scratch pool you have many object balls to go off and only one cue ball. I mean, the rules of the game are different.
Yeah.
They are a little bit different and just quite might look strange to the Russian players.
Yeah.
But the main concept, like the carom shot, actually it is the easiest one I think you can imagine, because every skilled player can predict the cue ball's path very well.
Oh, he barely came out into the open, I think.
Yeah, but he's okay.
Yeah.
The 5 ball goes. So does the 6. doesn't need to travel far from the 7 to the 8. Just keeping enough angle.
Tell you what, those are the little rolls that can win, that do win matches for you. Like, he was close to being snookered. Another eighth of an inch or whatever, and say he was snookered, could cost him the whole match, right? But he comes out just enough to make the ball, and maybe that'll give him the juice to win the match. You know what I mean?
Well, like Jeremy was saying during our previous match, luck is a part of the game. So you are supposed to, for it to be involved.
But for some, luck itself is an art.
Well, as an artist, as a professional artist,
yeah.
You know it better.
Sometimes professional artist. Unless you're talking about playing pool as an art. But no, yeah, actually I've done art professionally too. So I don't know which one you're talking about, pool or art.
Well, Maksim goes one rack up. Do you have any kind of a gallery back home, or?
No, I'd like to one day open a gallery. That would be great.
But I think you did run some exhibitions.
Yeah, I've done a lot of exhibitions,
yeah.
Art shows. It's been a lot of fun. What I need to do is I want to get an art studio somewhere different, kind of move somewhere new and exciting, and make an art studio, make a bunch of new work.
Well, Maksim is up and breaking.
Let's see if he moves his body here on this one.
Well, he hits them much harder than the majority of players we have seen at this TV table. And Jeremy was like mentioning this. Most of them were utilizing only the hand stroke, just not implying that body movement and just not using that much speed.
Right. Yeah, that's
like
why I mentioned it.
Even at the likes of Niels Fine, who, like Jeremy said, rarely do this. He moved to the rail, so just kind of reduced some speed of the cue ball on the break shot.
Yeah. Just move the cue ball to the side.
Yeah. So just it's to the short rail, and I think it's a little bit weird, seeing Maksim not figuring this out so far. That he just all he needs on the break is just reducing the speed a little bit.
Jeremy worked with me on my break before I came over here to commentate with you. So watch out, everybody. Tomorrow I'm coming after you.
Oh, nice to hear that.
Yeah.
We'll keep an eye on you. I think all of you guys have been working on your break a lot, like Jeremy was saying that about Sky and Dylan.
It's fun having a coach, man. You know, like I've had mentors and I've learned stuff from a lot of different people and read books. But I haven't really had like a coach who's there watching me and it's kind of out there for me, you know what I mean? As they are for the other teammates.
Yeah.
And it's great, man. I recommend everybody get a coach. Because they can see things about your game that you don't see. And if they're a good coach, they also have a lot of knowledge too. And you know, it's good.
Well, I believe that even you cannot afford a coach, or just you don't have one nearby, a very good means of learning more about yourself is videotaping your game.
Yeah.
Because you have a very good chance to have a look from the side at yourself. Well, Maksim is for another jump shot, 2 in a row. Missed the previous one. What makes that one?
He handled the cue ball real good, the way it bounced like one time and then it landed right by the one ball. it was a pretty good speed. And he might have a chance here to make the 2 and get position here on the 3 if he can slide over just a little bit to the right. He didn't even need to. He was in good position here. So what do you think? Do you think he might draw the cue ball off the rail into the 7 and use this 7 as a blocker to hold
Well,
for
I
the
think
4 ball?
this is much better option than trying to roll forward because of the 5 ball. The way it sits, I think it blocks the path, the natural path for the cue ball. So I think your option is better. Just drawing into the 7, maybe even trying to overdraw and just clip it a little bit.
He's going around 3 rails.
Well, he managed to avoid any kind of a kiss and well, gets a roll once again. Of course, Jani is unhappy about this one, about the miss not leading to anything he can capitalize on.
That's a good shot to practice. That inside English, shoot the ball down the rail. When it's not quite on the rail, you got to make it real accurate.
Yeah, and you get to study how your cue deflects actually on this kind of shot.
And it changes with the environment, with the cloth and the conditions. So Max might be hitting that shot real good at the Baza pool hall where he plays. Which is, by the way, my favorite pool hall in the world right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much.
I think it's the best pool hall in the world.
That's a foul. Well, I think, there are some very nice places in Europe. At least I've seen the pictures, but unfortunately recently, and this fact makes me sad, of course, there are many pool halls closing around the world, like and in the USA, I think there are some places with deep history, like 30 or 40 years old, that are closing, which is pretty unfortunate. I think, well, maybe I might be mistaken here, but the only new, I would say, pool hall in the North America is Griff's, I think, Billiards, which opened recently, and like the majority of them are closing.
Yeah, I think it might have opened a couple of years ago. That was actually a renovated pool hall. It used to be called Pool Sharks. And it was there for like 30 years. But it had gotten so out of repair, and the owner sold it. Mark Griffin bought it and put a lot of money and care into it and turned it into a beautiful room. I also play at Good Times Billiards in Las Vegas. That was also a renovated pool hall. Well, Maksim knows that was an important shot. He'd like to extend his lead there, but that was a long shot. And this is, I don't know how, if that 8 goes in the side, this will be relatively easy run out if he gets good shape on the 6. Like the music they have going on right now here in the arena. Okay, so he had an angle that kind of made him, forced him to move the cue ball more than he would have wanted to, and that kind of led to this tougher shot on the 7. It's very cuttable though, and here you focus on making the 7. Kind of a natural path. If you hit it above center, cue ball's going to go back and forth. So you just try to make the 7 and control the speed, but maybe go 1, 2, 3 times across, or he just went twice. Hit that one. Well, apparently maybe a little soft.
Well, still he can make the 8 to the side pocket. Obviously it doesn't pass past the 9 to the corner. But then again, he has to decide and probably go in 3 rails around for the position on the 9.
Table's fast, ladies and gentlemen. You kind of have to underhit most of your shots and then let the ball tumble into position, and you just got to really get keyed in on that speed, because it's so easy to overhit the ball by a few inches or a foot or two if you kind of just resort to your normal table speed.
So now we're involved in the same kind of battle we had before in this rack around the 3 ball.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now this battle goes the other way.
Well, there's a chance here. He's thinking about rolling it in the side. It's pretty small margin of error. But if he wants to cut it up in the corner, the pocket plays a little bigger. But it's kind of a long, pretty thin shot. So he's got to hit that one really, really good also. But you can give it a better, cleaner stroke, and you have that ball. That ball has a little wiggle room up in the corner, but he's still looking in the side. He could even bank this, or he could play some kind of safety.
Well, actually, I think once again, if trying to think in a attacking way, the bank is there. The cross-side bank,
Mm-hmm.
because I think the 9 will grab that English required naturally.
Mm-hmm. Such a tough shot. Oh, it looks like he's elevated Maksim, and
Well, but I think he can avoid that scratch.
I think so. He can. He
If he
can't
just
draw
rolls
it so
rolls the
much.
ball forward.
Yeah.
Of course, not with striking the cue ball below the center.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's got to make a good shot. We know that much, and then he's going to have to make another one on the 10, right?
Yeah, no matter what, the 10 is going to be the most important shot of this rack. Oh, wow.
Well, I like how he stroked
Beautiful shot.
Looks like he played the cue ball off the point.
From this position, wow.
That was gutsy.
A nice way to win another rack, Max. I think Jani is going to take his time out. Probably he needs one.
Yeah. He's not happy with, because he had a chance earlier to run the rack out, and he got funny on the 8 was the main thing. But
okay, just we're going to interrupt a little bit for to advertise our next event by AB and Billiards, which is the Dream Challenge coming up from September 23 to 25. So just you can stay there and watch our teaser promo. we still have the Finnish guys watching this game. Kim Laaksonen, Kasper Matikainen, and Heikki Vanhanen, who lives in Moscow right now. I think he works in the Finnish embassy.
That's pretty cool.
So 2 balls down.
Well, it's quite a break. He's got a good shot on the 2. He's just got a tricky little tester, even though that 3 ball's near the pocket. He's got to deal with the 10 ball.
Well, I think the path, the natural path from the 2 actually leads to the corner pocket, so he has to beat this somehow.
Mm-hmm. Probably put some draw on it, but you want to avoid like low left so you don't go
Too far, right?
into the 5 or 6. Well, he put a little bit of low left, but controlled the direction very well.
Oh, yeah, that's a great shot.
It really
So,
was.
Right now, 1 rail and back to the middle of the table for the 5. Comes a little bit short to my taste, but he is fine here.
Mm-hmm.
With the way the 6 ball is positioned especially. So maybe 7 to the 9 is... okay, the 8 is also there. Sorry. So this is not going to be a problem.
Tell you what, as a player, it's kind of hot in this room, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's feeling a little bit hot, you know, a little. But he's got the glove, so stickiness probably isn't a problem. I feel pretty cool right now, though. I mean, there's not many people in the room right now, so it might be a little better than it was earlier.
Yeah, I think it is due to the audience when you feel some extra temperature, feeling some heat. Oh, actually, neither today nor yesterday I felt that it was hot, but well, I wasn't playing myself.
Plus, with the pyramids, we have to wear vests, so that was more hot wearing the vest. I had to go buy a vest for that at the local mall.
Ah, you didn't borrow one; you had to buy one.
Yeah, I couldn't find anybody who had one. Corey was playing the same time as me,
sure.
so but now I got an extra vest.
But I mean, with all these players involved in a pyramid event, like waiting for the match,
Well, yeah.
you could have easily approached any one of them.
Of course, maybe it wasn't the right size, or I didn't want to chance it.
Well, but the good thing is you are going to have a vest from Moscow.
And for
like maybe
the
looking at it and having those good memories.
That's right. Plus, I can use it in the American Straight Pool Championships at the end of October in Virginia, right before the
as if you didn't
International
have one.
9-ball. I do, but you know what? It has kind of like these marks on it from sponsor stickers. So it's
Yeah,
kinda,
I see. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, he's got himself into trouble here again, which he didn't want to do that. He needed to make sure that he ran out there.
Well, I think he can throw the 9 ball with extreme right-hand English. And
Right.
go in, at least 3 rails around the 10.
Oh boy.
Or, once again, get the courage and make the bank shot. What do you think?
Yeah, the only problem is the cue ball's flying around. It's going to go up to the other side of the table if he makes that bank shot.
I really like the bank shot option now.
What are you
Because
going to do?
it allows you just to compensate the cut angle. And just to keep the cue ball.
Oh boy. Yeah, I mean, I like it too because you're giving yourself a chance to win. And you're not letting your opponent
Yeah, he
do
requires that
anything.
we be in 2 down. That's a nice shot.
With position.
That's great. Great. Kudos to Jani for the decision and
Yep. That was a great job. Tell you what, even though you're not supposed to be in trouble, when you put yourself there, you got to do your best to get out of it. You know what I mean?
You first of all, I think you have to have the guts to do so.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just like that. Like somehow you screw up position like once every rack, and now you're forced to do something a lot harder than it was supposed to be, and you just can't get out of that little mode. But how you handle that is going to really affect your bottom line in terms of how much you win, how many matches you win. I mean, if you just grind it out, you can win a lot of matches that way.
So Maksim Dudanets is breaking, looking forward to extend his lead and to go on the hill. Once again, doesn't take any of the speed of his cue ball, but now, well, the result is much better than at his previous attempt at the break shot.
I liked it. He kept the cue ball away from the rails, hit it pretty square, had the right amount of spin on it, so it stopped. And here he is with a nice shot on the one. A little tricky with the speed control.
Well, I think he can easily land on the short side of the two ball, just where he pointed on the table.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's, main thing is just concentrate and make it and feel the speed.
Oh, he's got that very loose grip.
Similar to Ruslan Chinohov has a loose grip. Do you think Maksim's is looser?
I guess so.
Yeah? Maybe he only took a couple practice strokes, maybe not quite as much as he normally does.
Well, once again, we were telling this before, both players are tired, so just how often, what are odds for Maksim Dudanets missing the straight-in shot from here? I think maybe 1 from 100, and here it happens in the very vital match.
Well, he's worried about the cue ball control, and it was straight in, but it was long. So, I mean, it wasn't that much of a hanger, but most of the time he's going to make that, you're right. And he probably expected it to go in because, you know, with the new cloth, you expect the ball to kind of bobble in off the rail sometimes, and then sometimes it doesn't.
Well, Jeremy said the pockets here are probably 4 1/4, right?
Which is a Diamond Pro cut, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But definitely, once again, like Jeremy was saying, the pockets at Baza pool hall are more forgiving than here, right?
I think so. Of course, the cloth is extra new on these tables, so some of the balls will slide in. You know, they have a diamond 10-foot table at Baza.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Think, once again, I think this is the only one in the whole country.
You know, he's only built about 20 of those in the whole world. Greg Sullivan.
Only 20?
Approximately. He told me this. I saw him the other couple months ago. He's a super nice guy.
Oh, that's a good kick. Watch out for the scratch. So just Dudanets has to go 3 rails for the 4 ball, and then the 5 is there beside the corner pocket. So I think any kind of a shape on the 4 will do.
Well, he's got an option to draw it also 2 rails zigzag, but yeah, it looks like he's going forward.
Yeah, like from this distance, I think going forward is always easier.
That was a nice path right around those balls. Good speed.
And the position is great.
That's a game-winning shot because now here he is in line, and if he just keeps a good angle, stays in line. This one is a perfect angle. It's a little bit thinner than it looks. So he's got to make sure. This is similar to the one I missed against Ruslan Hill. Mine was thinner though, and I juiced it up with a ton of spin. and I ended up deflecting it a little too much. So here, maybe if he can stay closer to the vertical axis of the ball, he'll be okay. He put a little bit of spin just to run it around over there. Now does he have the angle to punch it off the rail here to come out for the 7?
Or maybe just roll forward a little bit, if he doesn't.
Well, it's about perfect. He could just stop it and draw back for the 10, or he could draw back here and then pull over.
I think just a stop shot will do here, and the 8 will proceed to the side pocket. Or maybe a stun to the long rail.
Mm-hmm.
Not required, yeah. And he will go right now 3 rails around for the 10.
Surprised he didn't bank that ball and just stop it. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, maybe he keeps this one for the winner.
Like Tom Cruise. Turn his head the other way and with a smile and make the shot.
Yeah.
Well, Jani's not happy with that one. Meanwhile, Maksim has a little breathing room to win the match because now Jani has to win 3 in a row.
Yeah, and Duda is on the hill.
Yep. And even if he breaks and runs, Maksim is going to be
Of course, yeah. He's
breaking.
got at least one chance, yeah.
Yeah. And then Maksim would also be breaking. Wait, no. Hill would be Jani breaking, right? If it makes it to Hill, Jani would be breaking.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So then the lag would come into play.
He won the leg, yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much all you can do is cross your fingers, you know, just break and run here, and hope the other guy doesn't.
I do like the bridging on his break, like not using his fingers, but...
Yeah, I like it because it's solid.
But maybe he uses this one for extra elevation, or...
Was he using open bridge, or was it closed?
I think it's open, but like this form.
Oh, that's interesting, yeah. The elevation part I like.
That's a closed one, yeah.
Okay, closed, yeah. I call that the billiard player bridge.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Because that's how they elevate, with getting up on the side of all their fingers. And it's pretty solid. That's what your pool players can do back home. You can use that bridge for follow shots if you want. Then, well, he stayed still.
Yeah, very disappointed with this shot. Well, he is mad, actually.
Well, because he had a golden opportunity right there. He made a real nice break, got a shot on the 1, angle to get back on the 3. And I think he was near the rail was a problem because he stroked it pretty good and he's kept his head still. But being near the rail with the distance, it's real easy to go off your line, you know, with a cue ball. But it still feels like you should make that. Every top player is going to think they're supposed to make that, which they are supposed to, but it doesn't mean it was easy. Meanwhile, he's going to get a second chance.
Well, Max produces a very nice safety.
You think we'll see a jump shot here?
Well, I'm not sure about the 6 ball, whether it does block.
Oh.
The 1 rail kick is there, actually.
How about the 1 rail kick into the 3-9 carom and carom the 3 down into the pocket? He's going for the 2 railer. Looks like he's lining up. Nope.
Well, the carom is definitely there.
Carom, right?
Nice call, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's good. Although it might be a little off angle. Could be there. Let's see what happens. how soft he hit that.
Oh, that's a nice contact.
Turned
Now
out
foul.
good. Although, you know what? This ball can be cut, but the
Yeah,
hard
he
part
leaves the
is
shot once again.
the position is the tough part.
Yeah, right. The 7 is blocking and the 9 also.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe just the good idea is trying to send the 3 ball all the way towards the other side of the table.
It's tough, though.
Staying behind the 9.
There's no room to stroke it, though, is the problem.
Yeah, right. Maybe just kind of a dig shot or...
Well, he's kind of doing what you're saying, but he's cutting off of the 3 and sending the cue ball around the table.
Yeah. That's a good one. Once again, behind the 10 and the 4.
Well,
I'm sure the 9 is a blocker, and also the 8 might be. Two rails escape. One, two contacts, yes, now foul.
God, that was a nice shot.
Yeah, very nice, and Maksim acknowledges that.
That takes a lot of nerve to do that shot, you know what I mean? The nerve.
Yeah, now the pressure is on Dudanets a little bit. You can see some part of the 3, I believe. The right part of the ball to produce a very fine cut. Well, hits it a little bit too thick. But once again, the position on the 4 is not a given.
Oh boy, neither is the shot going in. So, that's what we call a tester.
Well, if the 9 was not there, I like rolling the cue ball forward like for the cross corner bank and just once again going this way. But, well, you see.
No way, that was...
Well, you see, Jani was brave enough like to go for this shot, and he managed to avoid the contact on the 9. But well, once again, the side pocket was there, and he was lucky not to scratch the side actually. But then fortune turned against him, and well, he caught the point.
Well, Maksim's putting the has a chance to put the finishing touch on this match here. This is where you need to run out and put the match away. You don't want to let the other guy get back in the match. You don't want to let him back at the table.
Well, that was, I believe, the shot of this rack and the shot of the match, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I second that comment on the chat. Fingers crossed you'll be on the team this year, Max.
Hey, thanks. You know, I'm happy to be in the running, and if I do make it, I'm going to give my best effort to perform great. And it's an honor to be hanging out and training with the team and being on the team for this Dream Challenge, and to be here in Russia and meet you and Vladimir and all these great Russian people and players. And the hospitality is awesome. I mean, this is really cool, you know, because I live in Vegas. The Moskovsky Cup is in Vegas, so I mean, it'll be awesome. It's where I live, though, but it would still be awesome to be on the Moskovsky Cup. It's really cool, though, to be here. In Russia, it doesn't happen every day. It's a whole process just to get a visa to come over here. So it's pretty cool.
Well, Max underran the cue ball for the 6 to the corner, so he has to go for the side. And that's a tricky shot. Oh, Duda, what the hell are you doing?
Well, he knows he was supposed to put him away there. Like I said, you don't want to let the guy at the table. And, well, he didn't want to do that. So let's see what he's left. Jani. Can he see this
well, you know, ball? I think Maksim missed as many balls in this particular match as during the whole tournament, during the whole 2 days. Nice shot by Siekkinen.
Tell you what, though, this is going to be a delicate shot here. This is the chance he was praying for, though. So.
Well, I think just roll it forward. That's it. Stay down.
Mm-hmm.
Do you prefer the regular swing, I mean the back swing, or just maybe keeping it a little bit shorter for these kind of shots?
Hey.
Yeah.
All right, coach. I'm going to go try that. Seriously. I'm going to try that out, and then maybe it'll work out in the match here coming up.
Well, I think I first heard this from Darren Appleton. Like they prefer just staying a little bit conservative.
Mm-hmm. On that particular shot.
Yeah, just shooting the cue ball off the cushion, maybe.
Oh,
just
okay.
Trying to shorten the backswing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just almost like if it is not existent, then just going forward straight away. Well, but frankly, when I tried that approach, it was so weird to me that I was missing the shot.
Tell you what, he's close to the rail, but because he's by the side, he can hit this cue ball. He has more cue ball to hit, so he's kind of in a good spot.
But he's going to leave a very long shot on the 9 anyway.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. He might dig down and draw this back. He's got to be careful. He had a little angle there. Nothing. You can't take this. And so far, you can't take anything for granted in this match because these guys are grinding. He's bearing down to get shape on his 10 right now. That's what kind of match this is. But it's a pretty good angle to swing back 2 rails.
Well, I hope Dudanets forgets that mistake as soon as possible.
Well, he knows he had the chance here, so now he's crossing his fingers for another chance.
Do you probably have any hints for these kind of situations, like how to cope with that, how not to be second guessing yourself, like sitting in the chair after the mistake?
Just try to say, okay, if I get another chance, I'm going to do my best. Stay down, stay smooth. Try to visualize yourself doing good. Like get down with the intention to give a good, nice, smooth stroke for every shot. Just kind of coach yourself, talk yourself through it in a good way. Sit up straight, breathe from your belly, keep oxygen flowing into your brain. That's really important.
Yeah, that is important, actually, yeah.
Yeah. I try to do that when I'm in the chair. It's a really powerful thing. Breathe, fill up your belly with oxygen.
Maybe you just even breathe according to some count or like whatever, like
no,
like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in, then.
I don't do that, but I just try to feel the air go into my belly, fill it up, and then breathe up into my chest and really oxygenate or whatever.
Yeah, once again, Max stayed with his powerful break, and like before, the result is not positive for him. Just both balls from the second row coming too far, like coming above the side pockets, and also no 4-rail or no nothing.
It's kind of weird because you hit that one good one and you think, oh, that's a good break, and then you do it again and nothing goes in. I was having the same problem.
Well, once again, I don't think the carom is there from the 1 on the 9. Don't think so.
You could actually cut this one ball in if he wasn't jacked up on the 7. Because the 9 ball makes potentially the pocket kind of big. But he might be looking at safety instead. A push out. That's actually a really good question you asked about advice for players in this situation. When you're playing one of these grinding matches where you're making mistakes, but also good shots, and it's kind of like a back and forth type of match, you gotta you got to realize that you're gonna have to fight this match out to the last ball, and you can't be crying about making just one more mistake, even though it was at the end. Well, you made plenty of mistakes in the match, right? So you're just gonna do your best to try not and make any more mistakes. But we call that winning ugly.
Yeah,
and there's a book called Winning Ugly.
Also, I think another good remedy could be just trying to play, like they say, one shot at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to concentrate on every single shot, not thinking about like the overall score line or about all the environment around you.
Absolutely. Each shot is its own entity. You plan it out. You figure out your stroke. You think positive. Go through your process. Because that's what you're doing anyway when you're playing good relaxed pool. You're just taking one shot at a time. You're just relaxed and focused, and it's flowing more. The concentration's easier. Your arm is more oiled up. That was weird. He must have called the 8 ball. He made the 1, but he must have called the 8.
Yeah, right.
Which is why Max is at the table, but he's giving it back because he has that option.
Yeah, sure. No called shot made. Oh, Jani, he has just played one heel match, and he is looking forward to be involved in another one.
Right? He sure is. He's hoping.
That's a great jump shot, and the position is there to make the 10 to the side. It is going to be respotted then, because no early win on the combo in the game of 10 ball. For the win in the rec, the 10 is to be made as a last ball.
That was a Tom Cruise shot from The Color of Money.
Oh, that's a safety.
Yeah. Oh, look how nice he's hit it.
Great key ball control. Manages to put it very close to the cushion.
I've been involved in a lot of these kind of matches. I'll admit it. A ton of these kind of fighting matches. I'm pretty relaxed and flowing player most of the time. But I think in a lot of my matches in my career, I've tightened up and I've become really good at being able to win like this, although that's not really my game, how I really play. But it just got to the point where I had to learn how to play like that, But I actually, working with Johan and Jeremy, I'm actually getting a lot smoother out there in competition. So I'm excited.
I think any of the American players who have been working with Johan, they improved quite a bit recently, like during the last year or two.
Yeah.
Just look at Tyler Steyer and how good Skyler developed. And same goes, I think, for anyone, like even Shane McMean or
Shane's a character, man. Like he's a great player. He's a funny guy, though. Did you get a chance to talk to him much? He's a funny guy. He's been playing great pool since he was a young teenager. Well, Max has earned himself another shot here. and he knows that he has to get out here.
Yeah, sure. No room for error anymore. I mean, you cannot be wasting those chances, one after the other.
Oh, he hit that thin, so...
Yes, overcuts the ball, so goes too far once again, and once again, like before, he has to go for the side pocket on that 6 ball again.
Let's see how his arm, how he hits this one, you know.
Do you like to stay conservative and just roll the ball forward, or like going 3 rails around with a stun shot?
Boy, I
yeah.
Whatever
Like
gets the
this,
ball in the
well,
pocket is what I like.
Well, that's a very brave decision once again from Dudanets.
He hit that one with confidence. He was like,
Yeah, right.
I'm just going to make this ball.
It was a very confidential shot.
Yep. He's really bearing down right now, folks. This may as well be a UFC match. These guys are fighting hard.
Yeah, Jani Siekkinen is of course frustrated about this.
Can't take this shot for granted either.
Yeah, right.
You know, you gotta make sure you don't like hook yourself on the side pocket.
I think as long as you let this thing in your mind about like the shot being easy, it can become the hardest of them all. Well, that's it. Maksim Dudanets is through to tomorrow, the single elimination, and tomorrow we start at 10 a.m. And please mind that we have our semi-finals. Both matches simultaneously are scheduled to start at 3:15 Moscow time, 3 p.m. Once again, 3:15. So many thanks to Max Eberle for joining us here in the commentary booth.
Hey, Michael, thank you.
We enjoyed having here. So once
thanks
again,
for the comments, everybody.
all the best for tomorrow and for the rest of the event.
Thank you very much.
And for the rest of the year as well.
Spasiba.
Very good. You say that almost as good as Corey does. And he's been here before
I think he
already.
says Spasiba. Which one did you say? Can you say it for us?
Spasiba.
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 Oh, okay, there we go.
You
That means thank
you
you.
sound very Russian.
Spasiba.
Yeah. So spasiba to you. And, well, later.
Good to be here, Michael. Thank you very much.
A very nice German accent.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you.